On today's Eagle Angle, freshman fanfare was a success yet again.
An Oklahoma Christian faculty member is honored.
And the death of a Supreme Court justice causes tension in Washington.
All of this and more on Eagle Angle.
Hello and welcome to Eagle Angle, a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University. I'm Reagan Meyer.
I'm Samantha Nelson. This past Friday, Oklahoma Christian hosted Freshman Fanfare, a musical variety show featuring the freshman class. This year's theme was A Million Dreams, based on the movie The Greatest Showman. There were some obstacles due to COVID-19, but as always, the show must go on. I was able to get the scoop on the event. This past Friday, the freshmen of Oklahoma Christian got a taste of tradition when they participated in Freshman Fanfare. The theme of this musical show was A Million Dreams, which spoke to the hopes that freshmen have for the coming years. The directors, Michaela McKenzie and Hope Evans, said that this year's show was based on spring sing traditions, featuring a group of hosts, bright graphics, and a live band. The directors said they were proud to pass on their musical knowledge, but it was a challenge too.
I mean, for us, we are music majors, and so we get rhythm and choreography decently fast, and it was kind of difficult because we had to realize that, or at least I had to realize, that not everyone catches on as quickly as you think you would, or as quickly as you think they would. But through it all, there were a lot of twists and turns, but it was all worth it.
Freshmen had barely over a month to prepare for the show. Throughout learning steps, harmonies, and lyrics, the biggest obstacle was COVID-19. Students had to be split up into two groups while social distancing and wearing masks. This year's show was also outside, which changed the recording process and even the show itself.
We have all these ideas and so many things that we want to do, like partner work and we have Rewrite the Stars with a guy and a girl, and we wanted them to be able to really portray that song the way it's supposed to be. But you have challenges. You can't touch each other, you can't be within 6 feet of each other kind of thing unless you're wearing a mask. And so I think that's one of the big challenges. We had all these ideas and we had to have them come together somehow without being together, close. So.
The director said that their experience was overall a positive one. It allowed them to experience OC in a new light, while giving them a chance to experience something new and meet more people.
OC has the best community for anything you want to do.
Yeah, Freshman Fanfare was my first opportunity to see the community at OC and how involved people like to get. And so that's something I wanted to contribute to. I think Fanfare is something I'm going to be involved in some way. Yeah. For the rest of my years here, because I've just enjoyed it so much, just getting to form close relationships with those freshmen and make sure that they feel the community here as well. So, yeah.
Family members and alumni were not able to attend this show in person, but a live stream let them experience it from afar. Students on campus were able to watch it from a safe distance in the forum. As they say in theater, the show must go on. This is Samantha Nelson reporting for Eagle Angle.
This week's faculty feature focuses on Dr. Nathan Shank, an assistant professor of English at Oklahoma Christian. His upper-level courses take writing to the next level with assignments that apply to real-world problems. Samantha Nelson was able to speak with Shank this week.
This faculty feature focuses on Dr. Nathan Shank, an assistant professor of English at Oklahoma Christian. He teaches students the importance of language in the real world. His advanced writing class for juniors and seniors last spring participated in the Unaware Project, which is a joint collaboration with the Oklahoma Youth Academy charter schools for teenage delinquent boys. Shank's students peer-reviewed drafts of the boys' writing and eventually got the chance to visit them in person. Dr. Shank described the experience as eye-opening and meaningful.
I wanted them to realize that there are people out there who are very different from them and don't have the privilege that many of my students have, and to have a meaningful experience that could improve their lives, but also they could see how they could help others with their writing. And to me, it heightened the value of the written word when we were actually affecting people's lives through the words we were using.
Even in Shank's other courses, he strives to make learning accessible in the real world. This semester, he has changed his technical writing course to follow a video game-like story inspired by the courses developed by Dr. Chris Rosser. Courses like these create engagement while developing students' skills for writing in the workforce. Dr. Shank said that writing was a product, but also a process, and games like this help students absorb the material and become critical thinkers. When asked about his views on writing, Dr. Shank had this to say.
Well, I believe in the power of writing, and I'm a champion for all things writing on campus. And so I hope people do a lot of writing. I hope they think critically about their writing, and I hope they use their writing to help others. And just as maybe a final example, we've been getting so many emails right now, right? The world is crazy, and I used to think, oh, emails are just drudgery, let me get them done. And I've started to think, no, emails are a way that we can improve people's lives. And maybe you are the person who sends that one happy email that someone gets that week. And it may seem small, but I think it can improve everyone's quality of life. So again, how can we use words? We need to be aware of our situation and think through what we can do to help others with them.
Dr. Shank said that his goals while teaching are always focused on the student and how they can best learn and apply the material. His assignments point towards his intention of teaching writing as a channel for change and community service. He wants his classroom to be a place where students learn and help others through their Nelson.
If you have any stories that you want us to report on, send us an email to our producer, will.hadley@eagles.oc.edu. And now for our national news.
An epic battle is brewing following the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. President Trump is likely to nominate a replacement soon, while Democrats say the process should wait until after the 2020 election. John Lorenk reports.
As mourners hold nationwide vigils for Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Republicans plan for her successor.
Now, it says the president is supposed to fill the seat, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fill the seat.
That could lead to a supreme fight.
She said, "My most fervent wish is that I will not be replaced until a new president is installed."
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is pressing for a vote, but can likely only lose 3 GOP senators for the nomination to pass. And there is an elephant in McConnell's room.
He created a new rule, the Mcconnell Rule. Absolutely no hearing, no vote for a nominee in an election year. Period. No caveats.
More than 4 years ago, McConnell led Republicans who refused to have a hearing or vote on then-President Barack Obama's Supreme Court nominee, Merrick Garland, saying,
"This appointment should be made by the next president."
But the White House says this is a matter of apples and oranges.
I reject the notion there's hypocrisy. As I said, the historical precedent is when your party's in power and the president nominates consistently, going back to George Washington, the party has continued to confirm those nominees.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
An officer has been indicted in the Breonna Taylor case 6 months after her death at the hands of police executing a warrant. But the Kentucky Attorney General's decision to only level charges against one of the officers involved is not the outcome many were hoping for. Daryl Forges is in Louisville with the latest.
After months of mounting pressure, a grand jury has announced 3 charges of wanton endangerment against Brett Hankinson, one of the officers involved in the March shooting death of Breonna Taylor.
The grand jury voted to return an indictment against Detective Hankinson for 3 counts of wanton endangerment for wantonly placing the 3 individuals in apartment 3 in danger of serious physical injury or death. The charge of wanton endangerment in the first degree is a Class D felony, and if found guilty, the accused can serve up to 5 years for each count.
Hankinson, fired from the force in June, is one of the 3 officers investigated by the Attorney General, but is the only officer who has been indicted by a grand jury. For those fighting for justice, these charges may not be enough. The decision comes on the heels of a historic wrongful death lawsuit settlement. The city of Louisville agreeing to both pay $12 million to the family of Breonna Taylor and institute sweeping police reforms.
It is landmark in its scope.
The 26-year-old EMT and aspiring nurse was killed back on March 13th when Louisville Metro Police executed a late-night warrant in a narcotics investigation. Taylor's death at the hands of police adding to the resounding calls for justice and accountability. Taylor's mother vows to fight until justice is done for her daughter.
I'll fight to the death of me for her.
In Louisville, Kentucky, I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Many Florida residents faced the task of riding out Hurricane Sally this past weekend. One man, however, did this on his sailboat. Jennifer Munoz has his story.
The Saturday before the storm, experienced Captain Robert Faulkner and his shipmate anchored Moby, a sailboat, onto the shore of Fort McRae. The plan was to ride out the storm there, but as the hurricane shifted, they were right in the path of Sally.
Tuesday night, it was really quite the winds were really quite strong, and at about 3:30 in the morning, the anchors let go.
Shortly after, the boat started moving. Faulkner then realized they were now in the big lagoon.
You couldn't see the front of the boat. You couldn't see the other boats in the anchorage. You couldn't see anything. The rain was horizontal.
Survival instincts kicked in.
You really aren't afraid. You just are very engaged and alive, and you fear for your life, of course.
Once in the big lagoon, Faulkner tried to steer the boat, but with the winds, he couldn't.
So at that point, I had to make the call. We're not going to jump off the boat. We're going to have to stay on until we get ashore.
Before he knew it, they had gone over the seawall. The boat came ashore between these 2 homes off the big lagoon.
I came right up here to the back of the boat.
That's when he jumped off the boat and ran to safety.
At the time I was jumping, I really thought about it then. It was like the exclamation point at the end of that crazy experience.
Faulkner says he doesn't think he'll ever ride out a storm again.
The newscasts tell you that you need to evacuate or you need to get out of the way of a hurricane. You should, because the power is just unbelievable when you're in the middle of it. It's really something.
All for your national news. Stay tuned because we have Daniel Hart with your Eagle Angle weather report.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Good day, Oklahoma. Cloudy skies are glooming, but there are brighter days ahead. I'm Daniel Hart, here with your Eagle Angle weather report. It is currently 73 degrees and partly cloudy here in Edmond, Oklahoma. Here's your weather around Oklahoma today. As you can see in the Sallisaw and Ada area, it is 70 degrees. Miami is at 77 degrees, and down in Durant is 74 degrees. Now, if we move over to the Lawton, Altus, and Ponca City area, it is in the upper 70s at 76 in Ponca City and Altus and Lawton. And then Elk City is at 77, and then with a high of 84, Guyman. And now for tonight's temperatures. Tonight it is going to be 61 degrees with some winds coming in from the south at 3 miles an hour. And humidity is going to be up at 88%. And this is what our weekend will look like. We are in for a beautiful sunny weekend in the upper 80s and the low 90s. And we do expect some 14 mile an hour winds. And finally, here is your 5-day forecast. The next 5 days are going to be sunny. Thursday is going to have a high of 85 and a low of 63. Friday is going to have a high of 90 and a low of 65. Just like Friday, Saturday is going to have a high of 90 and a low of 66. Sunday will be a little cooler than Saturday with a high of 88 and a low of 59. And then Monday with a high of 83 and a low of 63. And that'll do it for your Eagle Angle weather report. Don't go anywhere because we have Reagan Meyer in the Entertainment Corner right after this break.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows? Maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Good evening, I'm Reagan Meyer here in the Eagle Angle Entertainment Corner. Before the highly anticipated release of James Gunn's new Suicide Squad, HBO has already confirmed a spin-off show for one of its characters. The film has an ensemble cast including Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, and more. Cena's character Peacemaker, who's a gritty take on Captain America, will be getting the spin-off sometime next year. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the new West Side Story and Black Widow films will be delayed until 2021. This is largely due to the coronavirus pandemic and its damaging impact on the box office. But there is good news for Pixar fans as the company, along with Disney, are keeping its upcoming film Soul set for a November 2020 release. For gamers, the holiday season will bring about a difficult question: PlayStation or Xbox? Both Sony and Microsoft are releasing new consoles this holiday season, and the console wars have already begun. In an unexpected development, Microsoft seems to be winning the war, as pre-order sales for the new Xbox Series X surged upwards of 747% on Amazon. A lot of U.S. movie theaters are still closed, but there's plenty of movie news today, with a bit of classical music thrown in. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
We welcome today Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg is returning to theaters. RBG, the award-winning documentary about the late Supreme Court Justice, and the feature film On the Basis of Sex, starring Felicity Jones as Ginsburg, will be re-released in about 1,000 U.S. theaters Friday. The distributors are donating the net proceeds to the ACLU's Women's Rights Project, which Ginsburg co-founded in 1972.
I began to realize where the magic lies.
Ron Howard is no stranger to making movies about real people, from Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind to Frost Nixon and Rush. Now the Oscar-winning director is focused on the classical music world. He'll direct a biopic on Long Long, based on the Chinese pianist's memoir. The world-renowned musician, known for his dramatic playing style, has performed everywhere from the Vatican to the Grammys to the Beijing Olympics opening ceremony.
I want to be remembered for who I was, but not for who I'm about to become.
Here's your first look at Supernova, starring Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci as a longtime couple on holiday as one is losing his faculties to early onset dementia. The British drama premieres at the San Sebastian International Film Festival this week and arrives in theaters this November. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. That'll do it for the Eagle Angle Entertainment Corner. Stay tuned for Trinity Carpenter with your Eagle Angle Sports Report.
Thanks, Reagan. This past week, many stars around the NFL suffered serious injuries in a very odd week for the league. Those stars include Christian McCaffrey, Jimmy Garoppolo, Saquon Barkley, and Nick Bosa. Bosa and Barkley suffered the most severe injuries as they both tore their ACLs. With this past week only being week 2, many fans are starting to wonder if a preseason was necessary or if starting the season without a preseason was worth it. With the NBL regular season finishing up this coming weekend, that means that the postseason is about to kick into gear. This postseason will look a lot different as there will be a total of 16 teams in the postseason. The first series of the games in the postseason will be a best 2 out of 3. The second series is a best of 5 series. Then the League Championship Series and the World Series will be played in a 7-game series. Major League Baseball has also decided to change where they will be playing games in the postseason. They will be playing the series in 2 different states and going back and forth between 4 cities. The league will create bubbles to play in Texas and in California. The World Series will be played in Arlington, Texas, and the MLB playoffs will kick off on the 29th on Fox. Intramural football season is in full swing with social clubs battling it out to earn points towards their all-sports total. For students to play, they must take a COVID-19 test and prove a negative result. Otherwise, they are required to wear a mask in the games. Some great games on the fields tonight as the men of Chi Lambda Phi will play the freshmen, while the women of Gamma Rho face the women of Iota Kappa Phi at 9:30. All right, well, that will be all for your Eagle Angle Sports Report. We'll be right back after this break.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Talk to your doctor about creating a plan that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Well, with campus events in full swing, let's keep our minds focused on the health and safety of our school and each other.
No matter how much fun we're having, remember to stay safe, mask up, and to love your neighbor.
That'll be all for this week's Eagle Angle, where it's your campus,
your news. Good night.